Did you just hear him?
First for the visiting North High Polars, coached by Taylor Broussard and Rob Murphy. Number 0, senior goalkeeper Mehdi Simcoe. Number 3, senior midfielder Lillian Witt. Number 5, 9th grade midfielder Hannah Thor. Number 6, midfield junior Hope Lee. Number 10, sophomore defense Josephine Clapp. That's number 7. Number 9, sophomore defense Sophia Clapp. Number 10, sophomore midfielder.
Welcome to Tartan High School. We are working our way through
12,
a little bit of a glitch or two, but we should get everything up to speed shortly. I'm Mike Pete in Cheeseburg, Ellenberger, and we've got a Metro East soccer doubleheader. The girls will go first. Tartan and North St. Paul and Berg. These are two teams that have had a tough time breaking through in the Metro East over the last few years. North St. Paul has a lot of factors working against them. Tartan, while they sport a 3-5-1 record, they've been able to hang with some of the top-tier teams and did pick up a win over St. Croix Prep, one of the top teams in Class A. So the Titans should be favored. That being said, this is an opportunity for both teams to get back on track with a couple weeks left in the regular season.
Yeah, it seems like some mixed results for the Tartans, and North St. Paul coming in to hopefully make their presence known as we see some of the players being called onto the field and gathering to prepare for the game with Coach.
North St. Paul just 2 wins on the season. They came against St. Paul Johnson and Fridley, and against some of the higher level teams, it has been rough terrain. A 10-0 defeat to South St. Paul, and then Hill Murray rocked them 16-0. Two Rivers beat them 11-0. So they have their work cut out for them, to say the least, on senior day here at Tartan. And for the Titans, their go-to figure on offense, Olivia Sasser, 9 goals on the season. So I would expect number 19 to see a lot of activity. And Berg, as we dive into this matchup a little more, you look at the season series, Tartan has dominated in this decade. The closest victory over the last 5 years was back in 2020 when Tartan won 4-0, as we take a look at those previous meetings. So
yeah, great graphic here to capture how often these teams play each other and previous results.
Number 19, junior Olivia Sasser.
North St. Paul did have a few years where they were on the winning side, but it has been all Tartan since the start of the decade, and it's looking like they will be a favorite in this matchup, but we'll see what happens when the two teams take the field at the refurbished Tartan High School. We'll have more after the Star Spangled Banner. Everything back to normal here in Berg. This facility completing its renovations. It was a multi-year process, but the building, the gyms, even the football and soccer field getting a makeover. You may have noticed on our screen that we are no longer stationed on the visiting side of the bleachers.
Yeah, as Mike said to me earlier, that also means that we're no longer staring into the sun. Unless, as he said, we're here pretty early in the morning. And the stadium is looking sharp and offering a wonderful place for this game to take place.
I, for one, don't mind not having to stare into the sun unless we were to cover a 9 a.m. game. We do get some of those in the spring sports from time to time, but
I'll be sure not to volunteer for those.
not today. Well, when you cover events like USA Cup like I have, or weekend-long tournaments, you don't always have that luxury.
Oh, I'm sure. And, you know, as a goalkeeper, a former goalkeeper, if we won the coin toss, I was allowed to pick which side I wanted to start with. And I was watching that as the captains came up for the coin toss to see which team got to choose and which side they chose. So you can see a bit from the shadows of the players that the goalkeeper for North St. Paul, well, here we go. We've got the goalkeeper for Tartan stepping onto the field. Tartan did win the toss, and so this side was chosen, or they might have chosen to start the ball. So looking at the formation here, looks like Tartan's playing either 1 at the top or a diamond 3 or 2, and 4 in the back. More like a flat back 4 for North St. Paul.
That's you.
Just underway, and Berg, it looks like Tartan has 3 along that back line. No, I see 4, so they do have 4.
Yeah, less so of a flat back 4 and more of a rotating diamond situation with the 2 in the back. It is always trippy for me seeing the football field and then the extension to create a wider soccer field. It takes me a minute to get used to the fact that we are looking at the yellow lines for everyone at home. So while it seems like it's out of bounds, looking towards the yellow lines instead of the football field.
That is, of course, if you don't watch soccer regularly, but as you can attest to, Berg, and just about everywhere, as we'll get our first corner kick for the Titans. Can't make out the number. It's deep on the far side, but I can hear it as it ricochets off of North St. Paul's Cecilia Lee, and we'll have another corner on the near side for the Titans.
Yes, it did stay in bounds, but headed by one of the North St. Paul players, who looks like she will be taking the near post again on this kick.
That is number 15, Caitlin Harris, the senior. It is senior day, so the seniors will get honored after the halftime, or the first half concludes. Tartan trying to play it close.
Shoulder ball there.
As long as you don't use your hands or your arms, you're fine. Tartan resetting. They're wearing the baby blue. You don't see too many baby blue kits for Tartan. And North St. Paul wearing the white as Tartan works their way to the outside again. North St. Paul gets the deflection. Now we'll look to turn upfield.
Good step timing for number 10.
Number 10, that is Kenzie Akarike. The Akarike name, a familiar one in Tartan athletics. A lot of their family have played. Tartan will reset. Ella Ebenhawk, the keeper for the Titans, the junior. And Ava Hutton trying to bring it forward. Again, Tartan finishing a multi-year renovation process. It prevented us from covering a few games at Tartan over the last few years because of all the construction. As
Oh,
Tartan
what
gets
a
a through
great
ball,
deep ball to split.
flag stays down. Tartan trying to get a scoring chance out of that. Berg, they did have to check up toward the end of that through ball, not allow North St. Paul to catch up. But Tartan still has a chance.
Oh
And
my.
They doink it in.
Wow.
I've seen doinks in the other football, but rarely do you see a player, a striker, doink a shot into the net. Tartan on the board.
Well, based on the body's position of that goalkeeper, it seemed like she thought it was going outside and was planning for it to roll out of bounds. Here we get another look at it. Because otherwise, a long enough shot gives you time to be ready. See, she has her body turned sideways, and unfortunately, it did not go out of bounds. That post was a little closer than she had awareness for.
The assist will go to Olivia Sasser. The goal goes to Grace Kinsey. And from up here, Berg, I thought it was going out too, but Kinsey able to work that right post.
Grace Kinsey. Kinsey at 36-30.
I guess the doinks are just as unique, just as influential here as the other football. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before, but you could hear it on our mics. It picked up that clank.
Harris again on the corner.
And Tartan will get their third corner. And Harris will put it in play. Looks like Harris is the set piece initiator on both sides for corners. There's Sasser leading the team with 9 goals. Although she just netted an assist. Based on the data we have, that would be her first of the year. And Kinsey scored her first goal of the year. Kinsey, the junior.
Good line of possession here for Tartan, of course, as I speak. Broken up by North St. Paul, but had a good run working it out of the back.
Well, that's the tricky part about soccer when it comes to possessions. You can have a great set going, work the ball, work the field, but compared to the football that we saw you play for all those years, Berg, you're always moving. There's no breaks, there's no stoppage, so there's always somebody trying to get after it. As we have a player, oh, that is Kinsey, who scored just a couple minutes ago, having to head to the bench. And she is holding her right leg near the ankle area. I didn't see what happened, Berg, but...
No, I didn't catch anything either. It was outside the field of play. So either an earlier twist, perhaps, or some off-the-ball activity, hard to say.
North St. Paul trying to get in position, into attack position. They haven't been able to get control of the ball in the attacking third. And I just noticed this, Bergs. Perhaps some of it is due to the renovations here. They've got tarp, but the two teams are on opposite sides as North St. Paul was trying to push forward with it.
Oh, was that different last year?
Well, you don't see it at too many high schools as the centering pass nearly finds its target, but Akarake able to knock it away momentarily. But the North St. Paul bench is on the opposite side. Normally for soccer games, the two teams share one side.
Oh, no kidding.
Goal kick for the Titans, so Akarake's defensive maneuvers prevent North St. Paul from a scoring opportunity. This is the classic rivalry game that we covered frequently in the SEC days of yesteryear. Tartan and North St. Paul in the same district.
Blind clear out at the back and really just living on a prayer that the offense will step up and gain control in the third.
Flag goes up. North St. Paul offside. And as a reminder, the offside line is not fixed. It is based on the team's leading attacker, wherever she or he is. North St. Paul bumming it forward again. It's a foot race between number 10 and number 6, Madeline Klopp and Olive Joyce, and Joyce winning that round momentarily. Mouet, number 11, can't find her target, and Tartan will get a throw in and a chance to catch their breath.
Yeah, Hughes stepped into the middle on that last play, and Joyce is one of the center backs, was able to pop back and follow that free ball. Some tight touches in space for North St. Paul right now.
Number 5, Hannah Thor, trying to get shooting space.
Ooh.
And the Polars nearly get the equalizer.
Going for that back post.
Number 8.
Number 5, Hannah Thor, with that strike. And almost had it. Almost had the back post. Maybe a foot off.
And a good job by Thor to get after it after the deflection by Joyce. Thor just went around her to give herself that opportunity. Sometimes, Berg, and you know this playing this sport as long as you did, that second try is the better one. That through ball a little too strong, and dashing out to boot it away is Jenny Jordan Lopez. And she had to use her legs there because once the keeper's outside the box, they cannot use their hands. But Burke probably knew that.
Yes.
Tartan will reset again. Deflection. That's what you're talking about, Berg, those clearances. Sometimes when you're trying to boot it out blindly or making your motion, if you're not attentive to where the opposing team is.
Ooh, advantage here.
Tartan on the counter chance. And that's Sasser. That's the last person they want to leave open. If you're North St. Paul, Sasser with the extra pass. Ooh, bobbled it.
Wow.
Still trying to get a chance. And Jordan Lopez dives on it. That pass over to Villanueva, Berg, was bobbled slightly.
Yeah, just a bad first touch on that ball in the box, but had a lot of potential. A great slide pass and good positioning on the backside. Just a little rough on the touch and wasn't able to regain control.
And Villanueva had her foot aligned diagonally from the ball, and I think that's what caused it to go up.
For the Titans, number 11, Kinsey returns.
Looking at that replay, had it been a little more flush with her toe, I think she could have kept it down and given herself a chance. But this is a sport, Berg, where precision passing is perhaps the toughest to pull off compared to American football, basketball, or even hockey. A missed chance for Tartan, but keep an eye out for number 19. Sasser already has an assist. Over 11 minutes have gone by. Tartan with a 1-0 lead.
We see at the bottom of the screen, the bottom left, Madeline Klopp, number 10. For North St. Paul is keeping great positioning in between two of the defenders, trying to hold that sneaky spot in between to be ready for a clear or ball played up top on a quick transition.
Tartan's 3 wins this year. Game against St. Croix Lutheran. A 2-1 victory over St. Croix Prep, the number 8 team in Class A right now, and a 4-0 win over Burnsville.
Substitution for Tartan.
McCarrickay, no, that is Eva
Hutton
Hutton, I
coming
should
off.
say. And as you know, no limits on the number of substitutions at this level.
Pullers, number 8, Helena Huberty. And for the Titans, number 28, Peyton Edie White.
Peyton Edie White checking in. And Elena Huberty doing the same for North St. Paul. Tartan on the move again. Wide right.
I'm not sure what the communication was on the field, but she did have a player to drop that to. Only one in the box, and at that time frame, if you have 3-on-3, you really want to wait for more help. So a bit of a wasted shot based on the angle.
But Tartan does get the takeaway. Oh, and nearly got the cross in.
Get another opportunity for that drop.
Titans regather, and there's the help you're talking about. Kinsey is back out there, so whatever ailed her early in the first half has subsided. Maybe just a tweak. And we'll get a throw in for the Polars. North St. Paul, of course, their high school campus, a little less than a mile, within walking distance, really, of North St. Paul City Hall, where the big snowman resides. Tartan nearly got another one. Sasser found her target. I think it was Vang. And if North St. Paul hadn't gotten in there for the deflection, Tartan would be up 2-0, but the Titans taking command here offensively with regard to possession time. So a goal kick for Jenny Jordan Lopez. And she can't find her teammate, so Tartan gets a throw in. Those clearances are going to be key, Berg, regardless of which color kit you're wearing. Kinsey tries to bump it forward again.
Ooh. Oh, and a great follow through on the touch. Just miscommunication there on the backside.
And another shot that doinks, this time out of play. That was another foot race involving Sasser. We'll see if we can get another look at it, but Berg, North St. Paul playing with proverbial fire here. Take a look at this.
Was waiting for, just before this replay, was waiting for her teammate, number 28, White, to come and get that shot to help her out on that backside open ball, and a little bit of miscommunication takes the opportunity.
Amaya Shero was alongside Sasser, and perhaps she played a part in preventing Sasser from scoring because Olivia dove for it, knowing that Amaya was in her sights. But Berg, I do wonder how long North St. Paul can withstand this barrage as Tartan takes over again. They've spent a lot of time in the attacking third in this first half. Centering pass. Titans with a few options.
That's a better shot on the outside.
That was
Had
Sasser.
some pace on it, and well done on the goalkeeper's part, Jordan Lopez, to keep her line and a line in the path of whatever ball could come from that side. We see for North St. Paul numbers 5 and 11, Thor and A, just really working that ball in the midfield, trying to hold possession, find some opportunity to move forward. And they're running hard.
They're running hard, but Tartan's ability to get to the ball just as hard. As they have generated chance after chance. Only one has found the net so far. But you get the feeling it's just a matter of time before Tartan can line up another one. Flag is up. Edie White was offside. 22:30 left in the first half. Tartan still up 1-0, but the burning question, can North St. Paul string together some passes? They've had one real chance at the net. Outside of that, it's been all Tartan. In a Metro East battle, Hill Murray and Matamidi pacing the conference. They'll probably play each other as they typically did before Hill Murray was moved to 3-2A last year, and now they're back in 4-2A. And those two schools are usually the ones who played that section title. These two schools will likely be underdogs in section play, as we have just a couple of weeks left in the regular season.
Substitution as Hope Lee comes off with her captain's armband on.
Tartan prized the ball again, and they have numbers. Streaking.
Great shot.
What a beauty.
Far post number 90.
And that is the woman we were talking about, the woman you don't want to leave open. Olivia Sasser with a goal in the 20th minute. And this one, a solo effort.
For the Titans, number 19, Olivia Sasser at 20:41.
Sasser going top shelf, and that was created, Berg, by the takeaway.
Yeah, it takes pretty easily past the defense once she gets the breakout. It's just a quick touch to avoid number 7 for North St. Paul Klopp, which I'd love to see her get involved a little more. Looking at her body positioning on defense, she's just hanging off. A little more on the carefree side. You see her sneaking up here now on number 29.
Tartan gets a centering pass in. Over to Edie White, North St. Paul. Trying to clear it again.
Nice footwork.
Tartan once again reading that passing lane. The back line, Berg, they haven't had to do a whole lot so far. We'll get a foul. And Grace Kinsey checking on Hannah Thor, making sure there aren't any hard feelings. But most of the time, it's just players battling for space, and sometimes you get tripped up. Free kick for the Bowlers. And Tartan jumps in front of another pass. That's Kinsey again. Sasser, by the way, picked up her 10th goal of the season with that score in the 20th minute. Holding a 2-0 lead. On this late September evening. Next week, the final week of the regular season. Then we'll go to sections. Ball finds its way to Edie White. Tried to cross it up the middle. Deflected by Josephine Klopp. Throw in for the Titans. Now we'll get corner kick number 4. Far post header, a little strong.
Yeah, I found the player, you know, when those balls are coming in high and dropping down, it's difficult to judge to get behind the ball to direct it down versus getting your head on it but underneath and sailing over the top. It's a difficult read.
But Tartan has had no trouble reading those clearances, those through ball attempts by North St. Paul. As a Karake gets in front of another one, Berg Tartan has been swarming those passing lanes. But North St. Paul finally breaks through. Nordquist, who took the last corner for the Titans. Karake tries to clear. Ends up booting it past the touchline.
Thornley in the midfield for North St. Paul, again, very involved in trying to get the ball moved around to find some kind of offensive spark. Now that the ball is in the middle third, almost in the attacking third for North St. Paul, this is their opportunity to keep it locked in this area, keep possession, work the ball up, give their defense a little time to breathe. Although a great pass to 19 Sasser.
Tried to pass it upfield to Edie White, couldn't do so.
Klopp comes out, tries to get a touch on it to clear it out, and goes over the end line. So we'll have a corner kick for
the Titans. Back into the game. Number 2,
So a break for the Titans, possibly.
So many substitutions.
With no limits at this level.
Yeah, they're keeping
Why
the
not?
bodies fresh.
Haley Nordquist again. We've seen plenty of goals come off of corner kicks. This will not be one of them. But Tartan, everybody pitching in that back line. Like I said, Berg, it's been a pretty quiet game so far, but they've done a great job keeping pressure on as the ball is deflected by a North St. Paul player over to Jordan Lopez. Actually, that may have been Mehdi Semkov. I see the 00. I was looking at the roster, and they have just one person listed at keeper. No trouble for the Titans, though. Slight push off for Hutton, but we play on. Resets to a Karake. No one there to pick up the ball, but a deflection. Over to Nordquist. Wants to go to Kinsey and does. That's a tough angle. Ball batted up. Semkov can't fall on it initially, does make the grab. Another close call. North St. Paul cannot afford to go down another goal. Semkov initially batted it up, and there were a couple of Tartan players nearby. Fortunately, Semkov was there to get on top of it. Karake again.
You can hear teammates telling her, keep going, keep going. This midfield has been working the ball a lot and starting to get a little tired on both sides. So looking at, okay, if our defense is willing to take it up a bit, keep going. Get the ball turned around and just too deep. Klopp takes it towards the outside.
And this time,
a smart decision.
Oh, right.
I can see Semkov and Net getting ready for this play.
Sasser with the centering pass, shot too strong. Samantha Campbell on the attempt.
I like that goal kick a lot better by Semkov. There's been a couple of balls going to the middle, and when you go to the middle, you take the risk of having it come right back at you in your face if your team isn't there to receive steadily and hold possession.
And as you had mentioned, Berg, when you hear players, we've got mics on the field, that's why we can hear these remarks. The ball is going to go into the puddle. Tartan looking to make a splash of their own.
Great left-footed touch to set herself up into the middle. Sharp footing. I just couldn't get around the ball to bring it more medial.
Now that's a word I don't hear often.
That's the healthcare jobs and work talking.
Well, who said healthcare terms couldn't be utilized in sports? I'll have to save that one, more medial. Your old Vixen teammate, Jody, who is affectionately known as Moose, and I, we've called our share of games, and usually we throw in a fancy word or pop culture reference. Tartan looking to spread their wealth. Sasser again. Goes right to evade a defender, but North St. Paul able to clear it away and force a throw-in.
Sasser is all over the top. Every single offensive play goes through her. So maybe this is an adjustment that North St. Paul makes at halftime, or maybe it's already been talked about and they just can't keep up, but they really need a closer body on Sasser to break up that offensive attack by the Titans. Not a lot of calm coming out of the back. As soon as there's a chance to clear it, it's just a blind clear. And if North St. Paul wants to turn this ball, transition onto offense, they need to be more aware of where they're clearing the ball and know in advance where they're going to go. Where are their teammates who are open up top? It's a off the ball type of awareness where you're running to your spot and you're half aware of where you're going, but you're also keeping your head up and looking for who you're going to go to next.
Kara Kay gets in front.
Not a bad through ball, but no one's ready to run on it. So an easy snag for Semkov.
North St. Paul would take it with 9.5 minutes remaining in the first. They have been mired in a defensive position.
Yeah, there's a clear either goal kick or punt right to the middle, and there it comes right back in your face in the middle. So if you're going to have a middle of the field kick, then be ready to drop back and have it come right back to you if your team isn't able to possess it, gain possession on it. Usually a safer bet to go to the outsides. Give yourself a little more time to get prepared.
Earlier in the season, I did the White Bear Lake Woodbury game, and Woodbury gave up a couple of goals on failed clearance attempts that went right back and led to scoring chances.
We had a substitution there just before this throw. Villanueva came on, number 14 for the Titans. She gets a touch there in the midfield. Fresh legs in the midfield is very important.
For the Titans back into the game, number 14, Villanueva.
Hutton retrieves it.
The Titans feel remarkably comfortable playing it out of the back and holding possession in the back if it means getting a cleaner pass. But it's clear that both Sophia and Madeline Klopp are aware of that and ready to push up and apply the pressure on the defense. Earlier in the game, we saw a goal almost result from it. So here we see Klopp pushing it to the outside and bringing as much pressure as she can.
Karake with a couple of throw-ins. And she'll get another one just a few yards downfield.
A little too much sauce on that ball.
There's a time and a place for sauce, but when it comes to passing, it's the right amount. You don't want to overdo it. But Tartan, I feel like, can shrug off some of those miscues because North St. Paul really hasn't been able to put them in any sort of treacherous spot.
The Karake has had great body positioning. Easily defended that as a 2-on-1 situation and got it out of the back. And I've been watching her in general in the back, doing a great job on defense for the Titans. Little tangle.
And our first foul in some time. Been a pretty clean first half. An official will signal to stop the clock, and there's no card being issued. Hannah Thor just had to retie the cleats after colliding with Kinsey, I believe.
Yeah, Kinsey came in just a little bit late and seems lost control of her body, and once the two of them got close to each other.
The one thing you don't want is for your cleats to come off, so officials will generally be forgiving when it comes to players retying them, making sure they're fastened.
Yep.
Approaching 5 minutes to go in the first. 2-0 the score. North St. Paul able to keep Tartan out of the attacking third over the last few minutes.
Yeah, they had a bit more of a strong start on offense, North St. Paul. And, you know, who can say all the factors playing into that? But I have seen the Titans step up their awareness. You know, on senior night, there's a couple extra distractions. Maybe they weren't on their toes as much as they are now. But I haven't seen the ball solidly in that offensive third for North St. Paul in quite a while.
Karake with the throw-in. Tartan trying to keep it in play. North St. Paul doing a good job boxing out. Force the goal kick.
Semkoff takes it. And you know, the left side, which for Semkoff would be Semkoff's left side, has been pretty congested. Haven't seen a whole lot of play on the opposite side of the field thus far. Most of the plays coming through the middle or the left side. So something to think about. Usually if you have a goal kick that you're taking, you can opt to take it on either side of the field. Sometimes switching the field will offer more success, even if it's just finding fresher legs. But you can also play around with the matchup that's occurring on that side after substitutions especially.
With just a few minutes left in the first half, the burning question, I suspect, for the second half, can North St. Paul get field position? Make a serious run at Tartan, because even though they've been able to contain Tartan's attack as of late, the Titans hold a 2-0 lead, and we haven't seen too many signs to suggest that advantage will be in jeopardy.
We see Campos coming on number 32 for the Titans and hanging out in the midfield thus far, but at the middle and top, ready to assist on the offense here. He's turning up towards the middle and outside.
Kinsey with the takeaway. North St. Paul gets to the through ball first.
Plenty of Titan players there if they can keep this locked in. And oh, rough pass, giving it up, fighting back for it.
Kinsey muscling for it, but her pass a little too saucy for anyone to pick up. Big kick by Semkov. And Tartan once again will retake possession on the throw-in.
Saved from the puddle.
I mean, coming in, we thought this might be a tough slog for North St. Paul, and looking at the score, they're still in this game, but they've got to get into that attacking third and mount a challenge of some kind.
Well, and they have to want the ball. You know, at this point, we've had some throw-ins where it's relatively close to a player. Well, you have to step to the ball as well. You can't just wait for the ball to come to you and hope it works out. Whereas the Titans defense are stepping around North St. Paul players, getting the ball before them as they're just waiting for it to come to their feet.
In basketball, 45 seconds left in the first, they refer to situations like that as 50-50 balls. And North St. Paul, if they can hurry, maybe can erect a shot toward the net. But the flag goes up, a throw-in violation. It was Lillian Nguyen, and maybe she stepped over the line, so that will likely be the last meaningful action of the first half. Tartan won't have enough time to get downfield, I suspect.
Hard to say if there's any stoppage time. There's only been one extra.
They don't have stoppage time at the high school level.
Oh, really?
Because the clock counts down. But had there been, I agree with you, there was a brief stop, I don't think it would have been a factor anyway. But Tartan factoring into this one, 2-0 after Fortyburg, and the Titans controlling possession, and that has been the key to this game so far. Second half will come up soon. We'll have first half stats and analysis in just a moment.
The bravest person I know is definitely my dad, 100%.
My friend Sean.
My daughter Cynthia, and she was in the United States Army.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
Our journey has not been easy.
One of the bravest things he did was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
When he decided he was going to go back to school after 23 years.
It was the better part of my life that I spent in the Marine Corps. Transitioning out, it's a difficult thing.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
So I really appreciate it.
Did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction. And we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Buckle up! Nobody is more prepared for an emergency than Dogman.
With all your kung fu skills and your canine fortitude or whatnot.
But for the rest of us, a good plan goes a long way.
Come on, let's go!
So, whether it's an unexpected disaster or the world's most evilest cat bent on destroying all do-gooders,
Destroy all do-gooders!
you can help your family be ready for anything.
No time to waste. Will you get out of here?
Get started today at ready.gov/kids.
I never realized that I'd be taking care of a 2-year-old and a 9-year-old on my own. Sometimes as dads, I think we're too hard on ourselves. We get down on ourselves on not being able to, we're the providers, but we also have to learn to take care of ourselves. Self-love made me a better dad because I realized my worth. My daughter Isabella recently had a graduation into high school, and I got emotional because I saw pride in her eyes. I saw my daughter have her own self-love, and I saw the hard work of me being that dad 24/7 transferred to my teenage daughter. The word father means a lot to me. When I give my love to my children as a father, I can see it.
There I was, 16, divorced, remarried with a baby, another on the way, and I could barely read or write. Getting my high school diploma was a catalyst I needed. Now I have a bachelor's, a master's, and I became a teacher. When I look at all these success stories, I could not help but think it all started by getting my high school diploma.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
My dad showcased a sense of love that I never had before. It felt like it was something that I've always wanted. I mean, he's not only my parent, he's like my best friend.
Learn about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org.
Don't worry, the players have not been replaced. It is senior day, so the parents of Tartan seniors taking the field to honor their offspring who are getting their flowers, literally, in this one. Mike Beaton and Ellenberger with you, and we have lots of flowers to give to Tartan. They lead 2-0, and they have flat-out dominated possession time for most of the first half, Berg. Tartan was camping out in the offensive third. North St. Paul was able to neutralize that a little more in the end of the first half, but as you said, the Polars, they've got to get after it a little more to turn the tide in their favor.
Yeah, it's been nice here on the halftime. We've heard a little bit more about the Tartan Titan players. It's hard to hear the announcers that are in-house in stadium, but they're able to share some meaningful moments for the players, what they valued, what was the most fun during the season and during their 4 years, giving a shout out to people they appreciate, people who have inspired them, and most of them have chosen a quote as well to share. And it's great to see the parents out here show their love and their dedication and having a lot of sweaty hugs. There's the love there.
Sweaty sounds about right. I'm guessing your embraces were just as filled with perspiration in your days as an athlete, whether it was in high school or all the way through the Vixen. So 2-0 is the score. Goals coming from Grace Kinsey in the 4th minute. Let's take a look at those first half highlights. And this, I believe, is the Kinsey goal, yes, from Sasser. The doink that Kinsey will never forget. And here's a second look.
So much space and time to react.
North St. Paul, this was their best chance. Hannah Thor gets around Olive Joyce and just a little to the left. Outside of that for Ella Ebenhock, a couple of moments here and there, but a pretty quiet first half. It was busy on the Tartan side, though.
Oh, what a great toucher on there. Just couldn't finish all the way.
Shero keeping Sasser away from the goal that time, but you can't keep her down for long. Sasser on the takeaway and goes coast to coast, soccer style.
Beautiful.
To make it 2-0 in the 20th minute. And that is where we stand right now. But let's take another look at that because that looks so effortless. Well, okay, that was a Sasser miss. I thought we were getting another angle, but Sasser doing her part as we take a look at the halftime stats. And as you can see, Berg, it is kind of one-sided.
Yeah, heavy on the Titans side for having it in the offensive third, like you said. Shots on goal, corner kicks, shots. All of these are significantly larger numbers for a one-half game.
North St. Paul, they've got to turn up the intensity if they want to turn those stats in their favor and get themselves a victory in a season where they've been hard to come by, but we still have 40 minutes to play and a 2-goal lead far from insurmountable.
Yeah, it is possible to, sharpen up. They're getting chances to get to the ball. They're, at the very least, getting balls that have been touched out of bounds on these throw-ins, on the free kicks coming out, the 50-50 balls. If the Polars can increase their intensity to get to those balls, increase their focus on the passes to keep possession, there are opportunities for them to move the ball up, get a good shot on goal, and even out this game. I always say that 2-0 is the most dangerous lead. Once the other team has one goal and you're 2-1, well, now they're gaining the momentum. The momentum is in their favor. And one more goal on top of that, suddenly you're tied. And then it becomes, all hands on deck versus holding the lead or putting in another ball, making it 3-0. That's significantly more secure. So just because we see the Titans up by 2 does not indicate that there isn't potential for North St. Paul to come back.
They'll finish up the Senior Day ceremony, and then we'll be back for the second half in just a moment. This is high school girls soccer on SEC. Tartan leads North St. Paul 2-0.
It's about playing with everything you've got and sharing her love for sports. Ava Hutton. One of my favorite memories is tipping out of my canoe on the freshman year camping trip and getting to play soccer. People I love most.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy. It's a commitment. Especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is being prepared for the journey ahead. Love doesn't let any concerns go unsaid. Love is finding the right seat so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax. It always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Love protects.
Sit up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong, so I won't sugarcoat it. I need each one of you on your A game. The good news is, Anthony, the human body we've been tasked to protect, just got his flu shot, which supplied us with brand new gear to defend against the flu. That's right, we've upgraded our game with this new equipment. They give you a little extra boost. So let's go fight for Anthony, for his mom, his co-workers, that nice lady Patricia that lives down the street with the cute dog. In the face of viral adversity, we make Anthony thrive so he can protect himself and the people he loves most. Are you with me? Yeah!
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Achieving my goals as an adult was challenging without a high school diploma. With the help of an adult education center, I finished my high school diploma and it changed my life.
This yearbook is a testament to your accomplishments and how they have impacted all of us.
Getting my high school diploma made me feel like I can do anything. Now, I can help the kids in my community achieve their dreams.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Love is a lesson that doesn't end. It knows no conditions, so you better buckle in. Love keeps you on your toes. It never stops, only grows. Love isn't easy, it's a commitment, especially when they're being their most resistant. Love is finding the right seat, so you can take a breath. But remember, love isn't lax, it always double checks. Check that your kids are in the right seat at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Sit up, team. When I look around this room, I see a fighting team of brave antibodies. But the flu is coming in strong. The good news is, Anthony, the human we're tasked to protect, just got his flu shots, which supplied us with strong new gear to defend against the flu. So let's go fight for Anthony. Are you with me?
Let's work as a team to defend against the flu. Gear up with a flu shot to help protect others and reduce your risk of being sick or hospitalized with the flu. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Yeah, quite the number of seniors.
Well, Berg, you know how it goes in sports like soccer or basketball. I don't think they go this far in football, but when you have a team that has a bunch of 12th graders, that makes for a lengthy senior day.
Sure does.
Which on the visiting side, I don't want to say can be annoying or infuriating because every team goes through this no matter what sport you play, but that extra weight can sometimes make you a little jittery, I would suspect.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to also see how many seniors are on the men's team following this game. So here we have the coach being featured here with the Polars bench. Head coach Taylor Broussard had quite the discussion with her team at halftime. They were circled up all together and cohesive, having a cohesive game plan. And now we see the seniors for the Titans coming together, likely for a photo op.
So North St. Paul will have to wait a little longer to take the field. When we do resume, it will be 2-0. Tartan over North St. Paul. Goals coming from Grace Kinsey in the 4th minute and Olivia Sasser in the 20th.
As you can see, the number of players that were just on the bench compared to the number of seniors that's out here on the field. The seniors are outnumbering the rest of the team combined. And quite the family reunion out here as well. We saw a coach coming out to direct traffic. And North St. Paul trying to keep their head in the game, trying to get ready, get pumped up.
Well, here's a look at North St. Paul's upcoming schedule, and it won't get easier for them this week. They take on Matamidi. That could get ugly if past results are an indication. Brooklyn Center and Burnsville give the Polars a couple of chances to add some wins. Minneapolis South as well, and then the Section 4-2A quarterfinals will start October 7th. Again, Matamidi and Hill Murray figure to be the two teams who will battle it out for that section title and state tournament slot. And looking at Tartan, they're in 4-3A, and it's not much easier there. Why is it senior night? Well, the rest of their games are all on the road. Coon Rapids, Simley, Two Rivers, and Hill Murray. 4-3A, of course, that's where the Suburban East teams reside. Stillwater with a phenomenal team this year. White Bear Lake, Woodbury also in the mix. So Tartan has an uphill climb in their section as well.
Yeah, it's a good thing tonight didn't get rained out, considering it's their last opportunity for a senior night.
Based on QRF, we were talking about Stillwater, 7 teams, so the 1 seed will get the bye. And you can see, Berg, it's interesting, Eastridge and White Bear Lake battling for that 3 spot, but the Suburban East in particular will make 4-3A a gauntlet to get out of. I've seen a few of those teams already. Stillwater will play Woodbury to end the regular season, so the number 1 seed could come down to that final game a week from Thursday. That's according to the QRF. And Berg, you probably were in your share of senior days.
Yep, all 4 of them. No, just one.
On both sides of it. So how do you handle that emotionally? Because on your end, I'm sure it's a little nerve-wracking. Your family's out there or your supporters, and then when you're on the visiting side, like North St. Paul did here, you have to wait a few extra minutes when I'm sure they're eager to get going and try to right some wrongs after the first half.
Yeah, the number of seniors for this crew makes for a particularly long bit of downtime and distraction. So really, this would be a great opportunity for North St. Paul to come out hard and strong, make a statement while the Titans still might be a little distracted, although thus far it's looking like their head is still in the game.
Well, you were discussing it, Berg, as we get a high lob that is caught by Semkov. On the one hand, it could be a distraction for Tartan. On the other, now that the senior day ceremony is done, you can get back, get focused on playing soccer again.
I think the Titans are coming out with confidence as well. They had a decent first half, dominated in the offensive third, dominated in possession overall. So it does seem like they're coming out a little more easy, relaxed, cohesive, and ready to play the second half. Had a lot of support from the parents at the half as well.
Tartan threw down the hammer on multiple occasions in the first half. Then offensive activity tapered off toward the end of the frame. But the onus is still on North St. Paul to change the tempo, and Sasser caught up to it. This could be dangerous. A dribbler for her second goal of the day.
Love that touch. Sasser just bodied defender off the ball and was able to get around and have the center advantage. And so even though she was in a left-footed position, she still made a smart move with the ball. Here we have the replay, and you can see Sasser just body her off and get the left foot. Now, when you have the left foot trying to make a huge strike like that, can backfire at times. So keep it simple and put it towards the farther post, keep it on the ground. Smart. It's smart.
And in those situations, Berg, it's sometimes a guessing game. You were keeper, so you were facing many of those decisions. And when you have someone like Sasser who's that close to the net, sometimes finesse is better than brute strength.
Finesse for Sasser, absolutely.
We know she's got the velocity, as we saw in her first goal today. But you can sometimes throw your keepers off balance by gliding it and guiding it toward the net like she did.
Absolutely.
Now North St. Paul looking for a counter, can't quite connect. Tartan up 3-0 as Sasser scores her 11th of the season and has the ball. Nearly had open space again, but the ball sent out of play by Sophia Klopp. And that will give North St. Paul's defense a chance to get back down.
Mue hanging open in the midfield.
You can hear all the communication
That was a
taking
good
place.
Call.
So free kick for the Polars.
You could see Hannah Thor already getting a bit tired for North St. Paul, and I was seeing the same thing out of number 11 Mue at the top on the last attack. And it also is a matter of subbing and who's on your bench, how frequently those individuals are coming out, and the Polars are having to chase a lot. They aren't always having possession, so they're chasing for the ball and then trying to make the best that they can with it. So seeing a little more fatigue from number 5 Hannah Thor and Mue at the top, but not deterring them. You can see her getting in both in the back and at the attacking third.
That's an enlightening point, fatigue and endurance, because you might think, well, how could North St. Paul be fatigued when both teams are moving, both teams are covering the same amount of ground? As you pointed out, North St. Paul doing a lot more chasing compared to Tartan.
Yeah, a lot of times it does come down to conditioning. It comes down to who can get to the ball first, who has enough energy to body someone else off or beat them on the foot race. I've seen plenty of teams that are not necessarily as skilled or technically sound that win because they're more fit.
And I've seen some games, including Woodbury Two Rivers boys soccer earlier this year, where it came down to those last few minutes. And the team that had more stamina at the end closing out.
Oh.
But I wonder, because North St. Paul has had to get after the ball more frequently, they've had to chase, if they're expending a little more energy than Tartan, because in Tartan's case, they've spent most of their time on the offensive side as Sasser is offside.
Yeah, most of the time I see them chasing, it's because there's been a bad pass. They've lost the ball or lost the 50-50. And so now, and then trying to get back to either mark up, switch from offense to defense, or make a challenge on someone who did get the ball and is now freely carrying it around. So a lot of times you make your own work for yourself, and that's something that the Polars are struggling with right now.
As Tartan and Sasser, yet another takeaway. Sasser trying to keep Hannah Thor away, but
looks like that popped up and might have hit her hand.
An inadvertent.
Oh, perhaps something further back.
So a free kick for the Titans.
Great placement.
Found Sasser. A little too hard there, as the ball bounced off of Sasser's back right over to number I can't read because
it looks like 18, but her hair's a bit in the way.
That might be 16 actually. Jocelyn Salgado Ayala, but
well, there's that left-footed opportunity that we saw from Sasser, a little bit different context and ball moving differently. But when you get those left-footed shots, I mean, if you can't get something clean or you're not leaning your body over the ball, sometimes it's better to just play it simple or take another touch in, to take up a little more space to get yourself closer.
Sasser.
As you can see, Sasser's doing that exact kind of technique, giving herself a little more separation from the defense, another step or two closer to the goal, and less reaction time, therefore, for the goalkeeper.
Shooting space important. I covered some lacrosse and soccer games where I would hear parents yell, "Shoot it, shoot it!" And Tartan did off the corner, but the header a little long. And I laughed to myself because I'm thinking, if you're watching the field, if you're watching the space, yes, I know as parents and fans, you all want to see your kids shoot it and put pressure on the defense, but you need to have the space to make it work.
Yeah, they're so excited, those parents.
North St. Paul eager to try to rewrite the ship. Rewrite the story, I should say. Right the ship. I'm fusing my...
You got them mixed up.
I'm fusing my expressions. This is how you know I've been covering sports for too long.
Tartan free kick.
Tartan on the free kick. Just under 32 minutes left in the second half. Our boys' game will take place shortly after 7 o'clock. If you're watching this live on the SCC YouTube channel or SCC proper, as Tartan, a little dribbler, and it just rolls away. I think Kinsey was in position to knock it in.
That's the exact ball that the Titans need, and that they were, that the objective was for them to get just a
Olive
touch
Joyce.
too far.
Olive Joyce was the player in position. There's Kinsey. Now Kinsey putting a little body, or at least attempting to, on Thor. Hannah's getting body checked all over the place.
Yeah, Thor did a great job, the smaller of the two players, and was able to hold her ground.
Is it too late to sign her up for football?
Yeah, sure.
Do you still have connections with the Vixenberg?
Oh, sure I do.
Or, you know what?
Me.
Girls flag football is a sport now.
Yes,
you may have heard about that.
A lot of press, the flag football teams.
It helps when the Vikings are backing it, but yes.
Well, that's the truth. You look at the longevity and the sustainability of the WNBA because they've been partnered with the NBA for so long. So that is an important factor in league development.
We brought Berg in because of her soccer and sports background as Kinsey tries the through ball and North St. Paul able to knock it away. So conventionally, yeah, we brought Berg here because she can speak to her experience in soccer and football, but secretly we brought her here to scout for future Vixen players.
Oh, okay.
That's why she's here.
Fresh out of high school.
Corner kick for Tartan. This will be Caitlin Harris. This is the 7th corner kick for the Titans. North St. Paul has yet to get a set piece. Oh, that deflected off of Kinsey, I think, and another close call. Berg, any concerns about Tartan maybe getting distracted by senior day have apparently vanished. These first 10 minutes and change of the second half have suggested they are not letting off that gas.
Yeah, they're still hanging.
North St. Paul trying to hang with them. That was Amaya Sherrow on the throw-in, and I have a fun story that relates to why she wears number 15 as the Polars will get the free kick. Amaya's number was the same number her aunt wore as a basketball player at St. Paul Central. That would be Raina Sherrow, who wore number 15, went to state a few times as a member of the Minutemen. Amaya, her first year on varsity, she'll play soccer and basketball, and I was talking to her dad at halftime, who happens to be in the North St. Paul side of the bleachers.
Thor, right idea, just a little too much pace on the ball. I'm not sure the folks up top were really ready for it either.
Perhaps not, but this is how you start getting momentum on your side. You just got to get a ball down there. You've got to flip field position when you're down 3-0. And to finish up that story on Sherrow, her dad told me she loves coming over to the high school teams a year early. It's making her want to skip the 8th grade.
Titan, throw in.
To that I say, don't grow up too fast. But it is something, I know you were mildly surprised, Berg, to see an 8th grader on varsity. We are seeing more youngsters in soccer and basketball, in particular, make their way to varsity rosters.
Ooh, with the great touch right around.
Sasser beats her coverage and gets the hat trick.
What an awesome touch to just get it out of the reach of Semkoff. Very cool, calm, collected. As we see this again, such a great service in. able to get just a tiny little touch. And here is having to swing her body around. It takes some significant hip movement to swing your leg around in order to put that on post as you're running away from the goal.
Sasser, one of the seniors honored at halftime.
Yeah, she'll be missed.
What gives you that idea? I was going to set up some grandiose explanation or short story to highlight her impeccable performance on senior night, and you jump in with, yeah, she'll be missed.
Just had number 2 Campbell and Villanueva coming on for Titans.
This is the second hat trick of the season for Sasser. She recorded one in the 3-2 victory over St. Croix Lutheran.
For the Pullers.
Oh, okay. That is the transition time where the Pullers have to protect the ball.
Sasser now directing traffic. She has 3 goals and an assist. Got around Thor, threw ball a little long this time.
Yeah, a little deep.
But make no mistake, her imprint all over this one, and she may not be done.
Here's the opportunity. Hold the ball, have some possession.
This is Thor.
Not great positioning on the part of her teammates, though. You know, it's great to make a pass and hold possession, but you also have to have awareness by your teammates of where to stand so it's a clear angle. Oh, ooh. What a stick by number 5, Hannah Thor. She's just been all over it in the middle of the field. And that was nice and clean, all ball. Didn't get caught up in anyone's leg. Yes, the ball goes out of bounds, but at that point in time, you're stopping the momentum in the midfield.
And as you can see on the replay, we saw it live. Thor got to the ball first before Harris made contact, so good no call there. Hannah Thor, the freshman.
A freshman, well, that's good news for the Pullers.
They do have some youngsters. Thor, we mentioned Shero, who could build a nucleus for the Pullers down the road. North St. Paul, there's Shero, trying to clear it out. Soft clearance. North St. Paul, they've had some lean years when it comes to their athletics programs, at least in recent memory. Their volleyball team did reach state, though. Their boys volleyball team, that is, in the first year of boys volleyball being a sanctioned sport.
So that's the pass. There was a midfielder open. Could have made a smarter pass there in the middle to keep possession. Instead plays it down the line to a contested area and not to feet. Pullers just have to be smarter and protect the ball a little more. There's the pass towards the midfield, just a little off target. And again, if you get the ball anywhere near you, your responsibility as the receiving player is to sprint towards it, to attack, to go get it. Otherwise, in this case, the Titans, if they're more ready, if they're more fit, then they'll sprint to the ball first.
Got to make him work for it.
Let's see their goalkeeper come up here. That takes a little communication with your defender of as they're coming through, as a forward's coming through, saying, I got it, and having your defender instead shield the forward from the ball and from getting all tangled up their dangerous interactions.
You saw Campbell check up and then pull back so the ball would bounce off her upper body and not her arm.
On
we'll get a substitution. Coming in for the Pullers, number 17, Sage Kohlberg. But you do have a few youngsters. Shero, the 8th grader, getting some time. Thor, we've seen her get a lot of activity. Maybe they don't get many headlines right now because of the record, but you have to build that foundation somewhere.
Number 17, Sage Colbert.
I'm sure for the Tartan students, the seniors, everyone is glad they don't have to navigate through construction anymore. We've seen several schools modernize their campuses recently. Tartan, one of several in Washington County.
See Mue directing her teammate, look up the line.
North St. Paul.
And a teammate more or less hiding with a defender in the passing lane. Here we see Cecilia Lee step up, try and put some pressure on Tartan's defense as they move it out of the back.
That may have been the lengthiest possession. There's Thor. Thor scrapping again. Now she uses her body to get possession of the ball. Got through a couple of defenders.
She is tenacious.
Still not done. That didn't work out for North St. Paul.
One of their better looks, and you can see Hannah Thor has the skill, has a grit and determination to move that ball up, but she does seem more like someone who would feel comfortable making an assist, and that's what her role has been thus far. That's what the role usually is for a midfielder, even an attacking midfielder. So she's bringing it all the way up to the goal. And just isn't the same kind of attitude as a forward that's looking to attack every moment. You know, she's looking for her teammates, but at this point, not getting a lot of support. She takes it to the goal herself and just gets bobbled around, and the clear to put it on net didn't work out.
Thor certainly has some potential as she got through 3 defenders on that last go around, and our first save for the Titans off the foot of Mue. So Ebenhock, who had a pretty quiet first half, pretty quiet game overall.
Well, and that's one of the dangers of being a goalkeeper on a game where you're not getting a whole lot of action. It's a challenge to continue to pay attention, to stay involved, to keep talking to your defense, to keep your awareness and stay on your toes. That particular ball, I think would have actually gone out of bounds, and Ebenhock was smart to still dive for it, still pick it up, because as we saw in the first half, you might think it's going out of bounds, but you never know when that's going to dink off the post, and suddenly you're getting the ball out of your own net.
I've learned over the years, Berg, most goalkeepers will not leave it to chance. If
That's
they
right.
can make a play, even if it goes out of bounds, they don't want to risk it. The other thing, although in that case, with Mouet, I don't think it would have been an issue. Another factor behind that, sometimes there might be a deflection you didn't see. And if you don't make a play for the ball, you might concede a corner kick, and we know how unpredictable those can turn out.
Yes, that's true.
What did you enjoy more as a keeper? Did you enjoy games where your team built up a big lead and you could go on cruise control, or did you enjoy those games where you had to respond under pressure?
Oh, Mike, I come to play. I want to play. I want the action. I want it in my face. I want to be talking to my defense the whole time. I want to play as a quarterback, not as someone on the bench. So, yeah, I would prefer the action, even if it meant a loss. Now the tipping point would be no goalkeeper loves getting scored on over and over again, especially for preventable mistakes, or yeah, that can be the frustrating other side of the coin.
So what have we learned? Just keep sending balls her way. That's probably why you took up football, wasn't it? Because you never had to worry about missing action.
I like the contact. It's true. You know, being a goalkeeper was the most aggressive option I had growing up. So by the time I got to an adult and had the opportunity to play tackle football, I said, where do I sign?
And I suppose flag football wasn't a sport in Indiana yet.
It was not, although we did have a powder puff game for homecoming in high school. So freshmen would play the sophomores, and the juniors would play the seniors, and then the winner of that game would play the faculty, which was always really entertaining.
Well, Tartan certainly entertained by this performance on senior night. Up 4-0 and should pick up their 4th win of the year again in Section 4-3A. So how far they go in sections will depend on how well they can lock in, as North St. Paul looking to get on the scoreboard. Deflected ball goes back out to number 11, Mouet. Had a shot on goal earlier. Tartan gets in front of that one. I believe that was Joyce. But North St. Paul at least getting some time in the attacking third, and I don't see too many backups out there for the Titans, but North St. Paul drawing the foul. This might come a little late for a comeback, Berg, but North St. Paul finally figuring out how to get through that Tartan defense.
Yeah, I imagine, in my observation thus far, is now that the Titans are up 4-0, they're starting to slow down. They're starting to play more casually, and in this case, they can get away with it. They have the advantage on possession. They have the advantage on conditioning. So it's a little easier for them to hang back, relax, and we might, as you said, start to see a head coach put in some players that might not normally get as much playing time, get them the experience, especially as they get closer and closer to the playoffs or sectionals. You know, you want to get a well-rounded group of players used to being on the field together and used to playing more than just practices. So getting everyone more experience is helpful as you start to get towards the end of the season, especially.
And at this level, I say this all the time, there is no benefit to margin of victory because every team will reach the section playoffs. Boulders on the left side, trying to center up. And maybe Tartan is parking the bus, as they say in soccer. Content to take this 4-0 victory into their next game.
Yeah, really any kind of pounding it in, trying to focus on scoring over and over again. It really ends up being more of players who might want to be racking up statistics if they're seriously going to play in college or in the recruitment level of playing in college. But yes, typically as a team, there's not the same level of impetus to score outrageously on a team, and so you see the Titans backing down a little bit more, just hanging back a little more, playing relaxed, and also keeping their own team healthy by doing so. Well done getting that ball past outside defender into the middle.
In the tournaments like USA Cup, goal differential can come into play, but here it's all about positioning yourself for section seeding. It doesn't matter how much you win by. What matters is the W. And for Tartan, one of those 4 straight road games to end the season was supposed to be a home game against Simley, but several games were postponed because of showers and thunderstorms last Thursday. So Tartan will go on the road to play Coon Rapids, and then on Saturday travel to Simley. That game originally was scheduled for here, but there are some of the backups coming in.
Number 31, Marissa Vang is one of them. One of the seniors.
For the Bullers, for the Titans, number 31.
I spoke with Jennifer Roberto briefly. It was a hectic day for her and her team this morning, and I suppose senior day adds to the logistics. But for the Titans, can they parlay this into some bigger wins later on in the year. That last game against Hill Murray to end the regular season, that is not an easy out. They're the #1 team in Class 2A.
Yeah, if I'm Ebenek, or rather Evan Hawk on the Titans, what I would be worried about is keeping the shutout.
Tartan with a takeaway and then a tackle by Madeline Klopp on Samantha Campbell. And Tartan just 3 wins this year.
Now that I could have seen as a call, although the referee decides to let him play. And on a game like this, when you don't have a lot of interactions that are penalties, that are fouls, then sometimes it is better to just let him play, just keep the field of play. And it was right on the edge of, you know, is this a call? Is this intentional? Or letting it go, moving the ball on.
If Evan Hawk can finish this one out without giving up a score, it would be the 2nd clean sheet for the Titans this season. North St. Paul, they have not scored a lot. Just 7 goals. And they would be looking at their 7th shutout loss. But in a landscape that has several hundred high schools, Berg, you probably know this, not every team can be dominant. Some are going to have stronger contingents than others. There's a lot more to this game than wins and losses, although I'm sure it's no less frustrating as we're going to get a foul and a yellow, it looks like, on Kinsey on the push by Hannah Thor, who has taken all kinds of contact today. But a little too aggressive on the part of Kinsey.
Yeah, pretty close here, and you see kind of a stoppage, like pulling up and setting on the brakes, and Kinsey was just so close. There was so much contact already that it didn't take a whole lot of that letting off the gas for it to result in a penalty.
But for a program like North St. Paul, I'm not sure if you were part of these teams in high school or college, Berg, but how do you push forward? I'm sure it's vexing, annoying when you go in and you're not able to break through like other teams do. But there are still takeaways you can learn that can be applied to future seasons, or for someone like Maya Shero, who is in her 1st year on varsity, she'll be playing basketball in the winter. As we get a loose ball that Tartan's able to catch up, extra pass. And North St. Paul
own goal
with an own goal. Now they will not count it as such. There's Shero, and there's your want to get away moment. The look on her face
that's frustrating.
says, oops, that's not supposed to happen.
That's frustrating.
They will give credit, I believe, to Arissa Vang. She was the last to touch it, and that makes it 5-0. But you know what? It happens. And Shero was chasing after it. Vang made contact. It dribbled off her foot, as you saw, and Shero didn't mean to put it in there. She just happened to be a step behind.
One of the benefits of creating chaos on the box is it works in your favor sometimes, like such.
Again, the goal will be credited to Arissa Vang at the high school level. This has happened a couple of times on SEC games this year. They do not count it as an own goal. If this were MLS or FIFA or one of the international tournaments, it would be scored as an own goal, but in high school it goes to the last offensive player who made contact, in this case Vang.
You asked earlier what a team can even do in this instance when it's a mismatch. They're not able to break free and they're being outplayed. I would say a combination of relying on your playmakers, which they certainly are, with Mue and various others. But I think if I was coach, I would be subbing a little more. What I'm seeing is a lot of players who are worn out and not able to get to 50-50 balls or even 60-40 balls. And if that's a conditioning issue and there are unlimited substitutions, you know, I might be switching people out a little more frequently so you have fresher legs so you can win more of those balls and have enough focus to make a good pass. Because that does take mental energy. And another piece of that is without the physical endurance to get yourself into a position where you can receive a pass instead, you know, jogging a little bit lighter and ending up with a Titan player in your passing field. That takes a higher level of conditioning. So turning players out a little more frequently, getting some fresh legs, and relying on your top playmakers.
And what would you tell Cheryl after a situation where, again, it was inadvertence? She wasn't directing the ball toward the net, just happened to send it at the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm guessing you, and I know I can't speak to miscues as an athlete, but I'm guessing you've been there, we've all been there, where you have a silly moment and you go, whoops. What would you tell Amaya in that situation?
Well, it's happened to the best. It's happened to professionals. It's happened to some of the best players that I've played with, and there's no point in ruminating over it. You know, you're not going to play better by keeping your mind on that and not moving forward, so you might as well put it behind you. Maybe you want to think about it later after the game if you can't get it off your head, but now's not the time to ruminate.
And you'll have a chance to look over the film, and I think you said it succinctly. I use that line all the time. It happens to the best of us when I see a miscue. And you want athletes to do well, and you certainly don't want them to have silly moments be put out there. But trust me, I've had my share of embarrassing moments in the broadcast booth, so even I'm not invincible. I told Berg of one of them. I will not repeat it verbatim so that I don't get anyone in trouble. But even I am not invincible. And Cheryl just an 8th grader, so I'm sure there are plenty of highlights ahead as she continues in soccer, basketball, other sports.
Absolutely. I could see her on the sideline as well at halftime speaking to the circle of players. So when you have an 8th grader who is being given halftime opportunities to speak to the team, to inspire them, to strategize, to encourage. If you're an 8th grader getting that opportunity, well, the future's bright.
And I will add this, and not specifically directed to Amaya, but to anyone out there. I do a podcast when I'm not calling games and my other projects as well. I've often asked players what's their most exciting and their most silly moment. And if you strung all that together, I think it would just be a reminder that I've interviewed Division I athletes, some who have gone pro, and almost all of them had something to say. It goes along with what you said. It happens to the best of us. You talk to any athlete out there, no matter the level, and just about all of them have something where they wish they could run it back. Tartan looking to get one more on the board with under 5 minutes to go as they have this win secured. If they don't give up a score, it would be their 2nd clean sheet of the season. And as they start a 4-game road trip that ends again with Hill Murray, that could be a tall hill with what the Pioneers have been able to do. But
yeah, it's nice to have a win under your belt before you go on the road and play some challenging opponents, to come into that run feeling good about a strong win and trusting each other, getting some touches, cohesive touches. You know, this possession runs that the Titans are having, of course it benefits the game, but it also benefits them in the long term of connecting with each other over and over again and feeling what that groove is like when they're working together.
So Tartan will go to 4-5-1, and they do have some winnable games in that stretch. Hill Murray, again, the toughest of the remaining teams. North St. Paul will go to 2-8-0, and they also have some chances to get in the win column. And for teams like North St. Paul Berg that aren't in a position yet to make a serious run at sections or state, sometimes this is what you call the building years.
I hear that a lot about the Vikings.
Well, Carson Wentz, he's a pretty fast builder if Sunday's game is any indication.
Yeah, this season is looking sharper.
But you hear that a lot, or there are some NFL teams that seem like they're constantly building.
Mouet just trudging off the field. Big effort to get off the field as Tien Nguyen comes on, or rather Hannah Thor to substitute out. But gosh, you could tell how hard Mouet has been working and putting her body on the line for this team.
And Mouet is senior, so she wants to go out with no lack of grit or effort. But I was going to say, it's one of those years for North St. Paul, and there are other teams like this, where maybe you're not focused on winning sections, also, so you wouldn't complain if you did. You're looking at establishing the foundation that can lead you to brighter times down the road. North St. Paul, as you and I have seen, they have some players who can create that foundation, who you can build off of. It comes down to, like you said, getting after more of those balls and having the go-get-'em attitude that will come with time.
Yeah, Hannah Thor, who has been so active in this game for North St. Paul, is a freshman. So that leaves many years for her to have an influence both with her playing and an influence on other players that are coming up to share her experience, share her knowledge, share her determination and work ethic, and help build the team, like you said, Mike.
When you're talking about the Vikings, you hear about them in rebuilding mode. Look at the Lions. After Dan Johnson, I believe, came in first year, they won 3 games.
Yeah, they put up a pretty good fight against the Ravens.
Since then, they went from a cellar dweller into an NFC contender. North St. Paul will have to see what the next few years bring in their section in the Metro East, but
well, look at us,
if
Mike.
You
can't get us not talking about football.
But if you can get folks like Thor to spread that ideology and get others to buy in down the road, maybe next year you go from 2 wins to 4 or 5, and then you add to that in future seasons. Again, I don't know what the path looks like, but you have some players who could help get them into a higher bracket.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm sure you and I will have a few more conversations with the Lynx starting their semifinal game 2 battle against Phoenix, and we have another game here, so we'll keep you updated if you're not doing a multi-screen viewing. But you got to give a tip of the hat to Tartan. I say this a lot: if you want to make a run at the best teams, you have to take care of the teams you're expected to handle, and Tartan did that. Even with the senior day ceremonies, they didn't break a sweat. Sasser a hat trick. They just looked strong from the opening kickoff.
Yes, and credit to North St. Paul as well. When you're down, when you're losing, not only on the scoreboard, but when you're losing matchups, it's easy to get frustrated and have a bad attitude. So shout out to North St. Paul, the Polars, for playing classy, keeping a positive attitude, and both teams did a good job of playing a clean, safe game.
5-0 the final. Tartan with their second clean sheet of the season. A hat trick for Olivia Sasser, her second of the season. That puts her at 12 for the year. Also goals from Grace Kinsey and Arissa Vang. Kinsey in the 4th, Vang in the 71st. Let's take a look at the highlights one more time. This is the first goal. Sasser, I didn't realize that. Sasser had to duck before Kinsey doinked it.
Just gets out of the way in time.
And here's the close call. There is a positive play for Shero, able to disrupt Sasser enough, I think, to keep her away from an open net. But Olivia, this was, to me, the play of the game. Ripping that one through after taking it away. This is goal number 2 for Sasser. You talked about using her hip, using that left-footed tip Gliding it in.
Playing wise.
Great ball.
That's where she
Semkoff.
really rips it.
And another look at the changing speeds of Sasser. That was a great ball, and Sasser, great body mechanics too. And I think this is the own goal. That will be credited to Vang.
Oh yeah, not a whole lot of time to react to that. Could have happened to anyone.
It could have, and for Amaya Shero, again, brighter times are ahead. Like you said, shake it off. There will be more games. There will be plenty of chances to score down the road. But that's what builds character, right? Sometimes so without those miscues, it doesn't help you appreciate those great moments that will come her way. As we look at the final stats one more time. Just a wire-to-wire win for the Titans, and we'll see if this generates some momentum in those final 4 games of the regular season. The boys will take the field in about 20 minutes. So if you're watching this live on SCC, we'll rejoin you in about 20 minutes. So we hope you stick around. Otherwise, for Berg Ellenberger and the rest of the SCC crew, this is Mike Beaton thanking you for watching live coverage of high school girls soccer on SCC Sports. Tartan beats North St. Paul 5-0. We'll see you next time.
Number 5, ninth grade. First for the visiting